Welcome to Midcard Maniacs, I'm Jay, and today I'm going to be talking about the AEW Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament and 10 women that I think would be awesome to show up for the Deadly Draw. So I initially made a video last week, but the recording failed. So I'm praying that this one actually does work so I can get a video out about this topic before it starts, because new information has arisen that it will kick off on Monday, August 3rd, 2020. Along with that, we also have a few new rules and stipulations, which would actually drastically have changed what my original video intent was. So I was gonna go over tag teams that we wanna see, like I know the Sea Stars or Twisted Sisters or the Bird and the Bee. Like there's pre-made tag teams that would have been perfect for this tournament. However, that's not what we're getting. What we are getting is a tournament by random draw. All competitors will draw a color and matching colors will become a team, which means the likelihood of people getting paired together that we might have expected, like I would have expected Diamante and Ivelisse, that's just not gonna happen. Or at least it's unlikely to happen. And even the Nightmare Sisters, who seemed to be originally announced because it showed them on the initial graphic. However, Brandi has since had an interview where she said they may or may not be together because that's just not how the drawing works. So while both Brandi and Ally will be involved, it's unclear if they're actually going to tag together. Other names that we can expect: Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Diamante for sure, Anna Jay, and Big Swole. Those are all of the people that are prominently shown in the trailer leading up to the event, which means we have like 8 or 9 people that could potentially show up. And actually the first person that was announced on the recent Dynamite was Ariane Andrews, who most people would remember from Total Divas and WWE as part of the Funkadactyls with Naomi. It's Cameron. She wasn't stellar when she was wrestling in WWE, and then she just kind of disappeared for the last 4 years and I haven't heard anything about it. But she did draw the same color as Nyla, so potentially they will be together. But Nyla, her face did not look impressed, so I can see Nyla doing something to make it so that Nyla goes in by herself and not necessarily with Ariane. Now, getting into the list, this is in no particular order. It's just 10 people that I think would be really awesome to see just have an AEW appearance. Whether they get signed or not, it would just be really good for the promotion in general and the people that they bring on. In no particular order, starting with number 10, Allysin Kay. Allysin Kay is arguably one of the more popular people from the indie scene. She's fought for so many different promotions, most notably NWA recently, where she was the champion. She also faced Mia Yim in the Mae Young Classic, but she's been wrestling for quite some time. She's extremely talented, she's well liked, she plays a great heel, and I think she's almost an essential name at this point for like an all-women's event. Number 9, Priscilla Kelly. Priscilla Kelly being involved in this tournament is one of the more likely because she's heavily involved in AEW already. We've seen her on a shot of Brandi. She is the wife of Darby Allin. She was at Double or Nothing, and she's had a couple other matches, including on the Jericho Cruise against Britt Baker. Not only is she popular from the indie scene, she's popular with good reason. She's got a really great look, and her moveset is incredible. She's crazy good, she's fast, and she's reliable. She's consistent. And I think that's what's needed for a tournament like this that's potentially going to showcase a lot of greener talent. We need other stronger wrestlers to help them along, and I think Priscilla Kelly would be fantastic at that. She's put on some great matches. She's put on some controversial matches. If you remember the tampon situation where she pulled it out and put it in her opponent's mouth. It was disgusting, but it got her name around the internet, and she's been booked solid ever since. Number 8, Nicole Savoy. Nicole Savoy is just so extremely talented. Her moveset is massive. Her strength is deceiving because she doesn't look like she can just pick people up and throw them around, but she absolutely does, and she's awesome with it. She's super popular, especially amongst people that are big fans of women's wrestling. Nicole Savoy is a household name at that point, and she has ties to AEW, of course, because she's been with Big Swole and she was at All Out. So I think that Nicole Savoy showing up is almost guaranteed, and it'd be even sweeter if she does tag with Big Swole. Number 7, Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa was on my initial list with Holidead as the Twisted Sisters, but of course the pairings aren't there. But I do think that Thunder Rosa will make an appearance because it'd be silly not to have her involved. We've seen NWA talent show up in AEW already. She's a great in-ring general that can really help basically anyone she's with, and no matter what, it's going to be a fantastic match. It would also be nice because she did start her all-women's promotion recently, the Mission Pro Wrestling. Of course, Thunder Rosa has been everywhere, and I would bet that most people in AEW have wrestled her or been around her at some point. Big Swole will be featured in Hell Hath No Fury, the first big event for Mission Pro Wrestling. I think it's the second, but it's the first big one anyway. So there are those connections as well. So I think everybody would love to see Thunder Rosa show up in AEW, even just for one appearance. I think people would pop hard. Number 6. Faye Jackson. Faye is someone who has admittedly not been on my radar for that long. I only found out about her about 8 months ago or so, as she was putting together the first gray sweatpants battle royal. I got familiar with her on Twitter because of that, but I went looking for her matches and she's awesome. She's a super powerhouse. She's really fun and energetic. She does a bunch of twerking and she just brings a lot of life to the ring. We've also already seen her many times in the stands at AEW. She's been hanging out there. So it's only a matter of time for Faye Jackson to step into an AEW ring. If she's already there, there's no doubt in my mind that she's going to make an appearance. And I think she's a talent that AEW should sign permanently because she's unique. I just think she's a blast and somebody people can get behind. And what AEW lacks currently are strong baby faces, and Faye would be a great baby face that people would absolutely love. Number 5, Miranda Alize. Well, Faye Jackson might be a baby face. Miranda Alize is definitely a heel because she's got like this sass and she's got this attitude that just is inherently badass. And not to mention her look is just so incredibly cool. Her mask is awesome and just this swagger and presence that she has would be fantastic. Miranda Alize, of course, has already been in AEW a couple times. She's super skilled and she's someone who has the stamina and the ability to put on like a fast-paced match, which is something we don't necessarily see from a lot of the women's division currently, especially because a lot of the faster talent seem to be overseas, to be honest. Number 4, Hyan. Hyan, much like Nicole Savoy or Faye Jackson, would be another great powerhouse wrestler. She's extremely strong. She's very, very consistent that once again could help elevate green talent and could help carry some of the matches because, for example, we have Anna Jay that's going to be wrestling. She's only ever had like 10 matches in her entire career. And I think Hyan would be a great person to improvise on potentially botched situations and really turn things around and keep everything moving well. She's an in-ring general and she can definitely control the pace of anything she's put in. Her matches are fantastic. She's also fairly popular when it comes to women's wrestling in general. Like, people know her name, and I think having her on board would just be awesome. Number 3, Lindsay Snow. The American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow, is one of my favorites right now just because I like her style. She's got like this submission grapple type situation going on, but she can also fly if need be. She's pretty beastly. Like, she's short, but she's massive. Like, she's super strong. She can throw people around like it's nobody's business. She's completely covered in tattoos, so she has this really unique look, which separates her from a lot of the other AEW talent, and I just want to see her involved. She's someone that I would just always want to see more of in any capacity. And the same could be said for number 2, Elayna Black. Elayna Black is someone who's fairly new to wrestling in comparison to most other people on this list. She's really young. I think she's like 18 or 19, but she's super talented. She's also got a really great look to her. She has like this creepy goth girl kind of vibe, and Elayna's just another unique personality that I think people would be very interested in simply because she's got that darker appeal. People are drawn to like the mysterious stuff, and with Elayna Black, she's more of the occult, witchy vibes, and I think that's really fun. And there's a lot that she could add to AEW just in general, so I'd love to see her signed. Whether that would happen now or in the future, I think it would be really great to get her early because she is so young and she's already as talented as she is. I think with the proper guidance, I think she could just completely dominate and be super well known for years to come. And last but not least, at number 1, we have the Insidious One. The Insidious One just has the coolest look. I absolutely love her style. She has this dark vibe. It's like a horror anime character. She's got a really dope mask that she wears all the time. And similar to Abaddon, she's got like some creepy moves in the ring where she kind of like stalks her prey, so to speak, and kind of crawls around. And so I could really see Insidious One coming in and joining forces with Abaddon at some point. And I think that would be great because a little like evil faction would be fantastic. I think that's something that AEW will need. Of course, we have the Dark Order, but it's not quite as dark as I want it to be. I think Abaddon has got the look, and I think Insidious One has the look, and I think pairing them would be great. You throw in Elayna Black, she could kind of be the puppet master of her two minions. I think that would be cool. And that's just basically a quick list of people that I want to see involved in AEW at some point, whether it's for a one-off appearance or it's a full-time gig. I think all of these women would be great in AEW, and as we all know, the women's division definitely needs some more talent, and especially veterans like some of the people that I've listed today. Who else would you like to see show up for the Deadly Draw? Let me know in the comments. Like this video, and if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Midcard Maniacs.